Hi student, today I will review chapter 6 for you for architecture class 122. Before we go over with the homework or assignment number 6, I remind you that you need to submit for me homework number 5, assignment number 5. Tomorrow is the due date. Tomorrow is Tuesday, March 31st. So please submit me assignment number 5 before we start with assignment number 6. I try to go over with that tonight for make sure you know how to do for assignment number 6. Before that, like I email you a couple times that you need to review for chapter number 6. This chapter I go over with you in the lecture before COVID-19. So today I just review few more important things before we go with homework or assignment number 6. Okay. About chapter number 6, we go over with some of the main point for to do two view perspective. Before you start with that, I need you go over with some of vocabulary or definition about something you need to see in the drawing. The first one I need to go, is SB, is stay for station point. That is the point you can view the objects or the group of objects where your eyes look over the projects. So that's why the objects lie or cover this point. The second one, you need to know about picture plane, and we usually see the PP on the drawing. Picture plane is the plane. For that, you can see all of the projects. However, it's a two-dimensional only. Look like you look outside from the window. When you see next house or the building outside, even they have high, depth, wide dimension, but in during the window you just see 2D from that building only. That's the way you can thinking picture plane. That's it. The third one is the lights of the side. That means the lights you go from your eyes to the from your eyes, that means your station point to the objects. In this one, it's perpendicular to the projects or the objects you're looking for. And horizontal line is the line is represent for observer eyes, that means your eye level, and record in the picture plane. So we have that's one in the drawing. Another definition you need to know, that's the ground line, the one you stay on the floor and to look at the object. Ground line, ground plane, that means cover for the plane where you start for depend on the vantage point for perspective, and you can figure out where you need to start with. And the 3-point perspective have only perspective lines. So where do you stay it on and cover with everywhere around that? You call that the ground plane. Vertical measuring line, that's the line you use for measure the height, the real height from the object you need to show for 2-point or 1-point perspective. So basically, it is some definition you need to learn before you start with 2-point. We have few more, like for example, midpoint, horizontal measure line. That means the line is on the picture plane, and that is the true length time. So basically, this is some of definition you need to review before you start with assignment number 6. We have more definition for perspective, design state, and design drawing, but this one you need to read at home. So now we go with the picture like this. You can see that on of definition is in here. If you look at this, the projects is on here. For example, this is the projects. This is one building or one object before you see. And after that, you see the home button like this. It means another projects. That's the real dimension. You can see the height from dimension. You can see the depth for, the projects. And of course, you need to see the horizontal dimension. However, when you stay here, SB stands for standard point. You just see some part of them far away on the picture plane. So now on of definition, I go review with you. You can see that picture plane is some plane From that, you can see the projects, the object, but in the plane on 2D only. For example, this is the building. You see just the building look like this is on the picture plane. Or whole of the building look like this with the roof line like this. But you just see like this. You just see look like this on the picture plane. Picture plane is some plane you can see on of the projects but on 2 dimension only. And if you see some line look like this from your eyes, that means standard point, you on the plane. And this one it is the round line, and on of them is the crown plane. So now when you stay here, you look at the projects. For example, this is the point from the projects. And after that, you can see another point in here. And on of the line connection between your eyes to the object, you call that the visual light. And if you want to measure how high from the building or how high from the projects, and you call that a measuring or the midpoint or the point for measuring line. So this is the line you need to measure. Of course, this is the line you measure. And this is on up here is your light array. That means the light connect between you and the projects or the objects. So basically, if you look at the picture, you can see how is the picture plane, how is the standard point, and this is some of the projects you see all of them on the picture plane. So you see on the building right here, but on here you see 2D only. It's look like this. For example, this is the building. You see it's look like this in the pane. So now, this is cover on of definition you learn from this chapter. However, I would like you to go to read more about on of definition I have beside of the one I show you. So basically, during the chapter, you can see I show you, I explain for you how can you do for the picture plane, how can you draw from 1-point perspective or 2-point perspective and compare between 2 of them, because on of them is really hard for you to do assignment number 6. So one more time, I need you guys to read more careful. For on of the information is right here, or you can see something I share with you on this chapter. This one I showed with you on the lecture last month already. So I hope that you just review one time for you can understand how you can start with 1 point and 2 point in here. And after that, I will go over with assignment number 6, hopefully tonight, and go over with you about the projects or assignment number 6. Okay. So now, go a little bit more about the picture plane. Like I told you, the picture plane is the one you can see on of the projects, but on 2D only. So if you see like this, for example, I stay here in the room and I look outside. I saw a lot of building outside from the window. This is the window, but basically I see 2D from that building only. Even that building, of course, they have 3D dimension. They have the height, the wide, and the depth, and other detail from the building. But basically, when you look over to the window, you see 2D from that building only. So basically, you can see like this. And in this case, windows look like the picture plane. Same thing with here. When you stay in the room and you look very far from the end of the room, you can see a lot of detail. However, you didn't see the depth from the room. You just see something happen in the room in front of your face only. So go with this one. This will almost cover with assignments you will do number 6. So now, for example, you see 2 buildings right here, and you see this building, we have the height from the building, the depth from the building, and the width from the building. However, on the picture plane, this is the picture plane, you just see 2D. That means you see in face of the building only. So now if you go with this one, it almost cover with the homework number 6. I mean, on the building, you just see 2 look like the box like this, stand for the roof of the building. So you see 2 blocks like this for the building. After that, you need to create this line. This line you call that picture line. And after that, this is covered with the picture plan look like this. But the part is right here is the homework number 6 you will do and submit for me next 2 weeks. However, the way how to do for this one, when you stay here for standard point, you look at this one and you start to draw on of the building look like this. And this one you call that 2-point perspective. I will show you how to do when we start with assignment number 6. I will review and I will show you how to do for this one. However, the one you see is this one. And the one you need to develop is this one. Like you look at the 2-point view and you create for the building. You see like this, okay? So I will show you very detailed about how to do that. But this one, I just let you know that your homework will be covered similar like this. Okay, about the height of the building. For example, you see 2 buildings like this. And look at this, look like 2 different sides from the building, but you didn't know how high is it. And the elevation is show you how high from it. For example, this is the front elevation. You do everything on the front side. So you look at this building is high like this. They call that X2. And very behind of them is the projects. They call that X1. And the high is this one. So now, this one is you stay here to look at this building. This here you stay here to look in front of the building. This one you stay here to look and decide from the building. Both of them you have to change to practice at least 2 times in the homework assignment number 3 and number 4. So this one is very easy to you to remember. So go with the next one. For example, the homework look like this. They have 2 buildings, the big one number 1 and the second one is like this. So now they ask you to draw the 2-point perspective. You need to follow step by step for it easy to do for the homework. Now, the first one you need to understand the definition before you learn. For example, picture plane. Now on the 2D you show the line like this. It touches with the corner from the building. The second one is standard point, SP. Either one you need to learn. You stay here to look at the building. And number 3 is horizontal line. That means the line you start to share your eye when you look at the projects here. So now, basically, you need to learn how to create for the picture plane. Just the line, it touch with 1 point from the building. Standard point, where you can stand and to look over with the building. We suggest that you do this one for the angle, but not big, because if you do the big angle, you cannot see totally on of the building. So the angle is usually less than 60 degrees. 30 to 60 is the good point for you can see whole view from the building. And you need to create the horizontal line. That's the line for the level from your eyes. And you create this line. Now, when you start to dash, I need you follow step by step. After you do, you need to go over with that one more time to check for make sure you do everything okay. So number 1 is the building. Number 2 is create the picture plan. This is number 2. Number 3, create the standard point. And from standard point, you need to follow with another thing else. So now I will go step by step with you, but you need to follow me. And if you have any question, you can email me, okay? So now, the first of all, I need you to create the building. This is 2 buildings. Number 2, you create the picture plane, the line in horizontal line to touch with 1 point from the building. Number 3, standard point. You can stay here, stay there, everywhere. However, you need to create the angle for the corner from the building to the other corner from the building is make around 60 degrees maximum. So you can see whole thing. And number 4, you will be later. However, number 1, number 2, number 3, you need to follow that before you start with another one. Okay? So from the standard point, you create the line, and this line parallel with one of the line in the building here. So you create this line, draw a line parallel with this one or this one, okay? And when this line cut with the picture plane, go straight down to the horizontal line, point is right there. The point, you call that vanishing point, right, because it's in the right. Do the same thing from standard point. You start to the line, and this line parallel with one line from the building. You can see that its line is parallel with this line. When you draw like that, it will cut with the picture line. At that point, you drop down to the ground line. When it cut with horizontal line, you point at that one, and you call that vanishing point left, because it's on the left side. Okay, so basically you create two lines already, and you call that vanishing point left and vanishing point right. Draw a line parallel with one of the line on the right side, parallel. And when they cut with picture plane, drop down to the ground line. When that line cut with the horizontal line, you point that one. You call that vanishing point right. Do the same thing with the left one. Draw the line parallel with this line in the building. And when that line cut with the picture plane, drop down to the ground line. When they cut with horizontal line, right there, you mark that point. You call that vanishing point left. Okay. Continue with that. When you see the point before you create the line for picture plane, at that point, you drop down to the round line. And this one, you call that dimension line later, because this line for you can measure everything on the height from the building. For example, this is the first height from the building. You can move it right here. Second height of the building, you can mark it right there. For example, like this. So now, this is the highest point from the building. So you take that one and you go horizontal to the line you just create. Direct measuring lines. When it's right there, you stop. You mark the point right there. And you connect this point with vanishing point left. Go with the end point. Same thing with on vanishing point right. And go with the end point. The point you create from the building to the round line. Okay, so now you have this one. And you look careful. On up here is the one for the light from the building. It should be in here. And in there, it cannot go outside. So basically, you can start with that and we can continue with this one. This one is the one I showed you before. Create the line from standard point parallel with one line in the right side. When they hit with picture plane, go down and you can mark with the vanishing point right. Do the same thing with the left side. Create a line parallel with the building on the left. When they cut with picture plane, drop down. And the point you need to mark with the horizontal line, you call that vanishing point left. After that, at the point where do you create the picture plane, it touches with the picture plane, just go down to the round line and it marks that point. And you do like this with the height from the building. This is from the real information. They give you the height from the building. The first height is the top one. You mark it right there. And this is the round line. So you have this is the maximum from the building. And you can combine that point with the vanishing point left and with the vanishing point right. Okay, so on of the building will be there. So now, next step is you start with the projects. For example, you start with the first one. From now, from standard point, you go straight to the end from the building. On the left, any point they cut with the picture plane, drop down. And this point is the one from the left side of the building. So now you have this line, number 5. You can continue with that for number 6, but this is the number 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the one you create from perspective point. Continue with number 6. You start from standard point. You start with this point from the small building right here. You can start with that, connect to that point, and it cut with the picture plane, drop down right there, and this one. So that's why right now you connect with the point on the left and the point on the right side, so you have this one. Okay, this one is the standard point. You connect with the other corner from the small building, and it cuts with picture plane. You drop down, and you see that point you can connect with this one for this small building right here. The height from the building is from the information you have, so you can go with that on the vanishing point, and you go with this one. That's the second part, and you can continue with that with the third point from the small building, and you can see contact with the standard point. It cut with the picture plane. Just drop down right there, and you can see the end from the small building is like this. Do the same way with the big building. Start from standard point. You can connect with the other corner from the building. It cut with the picture plane, drop down, and you know this point. If you connect with the vanishing point left and vanishing point right, you know this is the left corner from the end from the building. So if you see like this, it's the connect with the end from the building. And you do the same thing with the other side. For example, this one, standard point, you connect with the end point right here, it cut right there. And you stop by, and you know the building, the big one, is stop right there. And you just connect with the vanishing point, and you know how high from the building. You connect with vanishing point. Basically, this one, you call that two-point perspective because it has the left point and the right point from the view. So that's why you call that two-point perspective. So basically, you can do like this, and any shape from the building, you can start similar the way. You need to create the picture plane, create the standard point, create horizontal line, create for the round line, and after that, the way from number 1 to number 6 is show you how to draw the view picture. So basically, the homework or the assignment number 6 similar like this. So this is the way how you can review before I'm start over with assignment tonight, I guess. And after that, I will post this on Canvas both and my channel Happylife-truelife. That's YouTube, so you can review on up my teaching lecture, and after that you can review for the homework on the video clip. Besides that, I need to go over with the rest of the chapter because it's more definition you need to learn from. For example, conventions and foreshortenings. Some of the pictures you show you like this, so you can see vanishing point right here when you look over on of the projects, and you can see belong to the view. The distance may be different. However, this is the same side. Okay, so you look careful. It is the same side. However, depend on the view and depend on your standard point, and you look at everything with different drawing. The cone from vision, that means the way how do you create for the point of the standard point. Like I told you, the standard point is the one you look on of the objects. However, if you do the small angle, you can see whole of the building in your control. But if you do the big angle, maybe you cannot see all of the building. The corner view, they suggest that the angle for you see whole of the building is around 60 degrees. So when you stay here, you can look on of the building. However, if you do the angle bigger, maybe you not see whole of the building. So the cone from the building, or the cone from you can see the cone, they call that the cone from the vision. That means the one you can control and you can see clear on of the projects far view. Many things for vanishing point and where do you look for the building. However, we just go with the main point from that one. This one, when I have time, I will teaching you how to do this one again for the red line, and before you set up with the red line, or on of the projects with different angle, and how do you start with that. Reading is one of the best way for you review. And if you have any question, you can email me. My email is keep the same. However, you can email me some of the problem in Canvas, and I can answer you. Also, you can email me on my email address. One more time, I need you to check the email with you and myself, because this is the way for we can communicate about the homework, the lecture, and everything else from now until the end from the semester. I guess if we have something about the further notice from the school, please email me. Or if you have some reason, and I don't think you have any reason because right now you work everything at home, so you have more time. And I always give you, extra time for that one. So now, for example, I say homework number 5 is due date tomorrow. So that means it's long ago, 2 weeks ago, before the COVID-19. We have the homework already, but you're not finished. And some people, I think you done. But however, I didn't get any email from you until now. So please email me some kind like the homework number 5 because it's due for tomorrow. And I hope that every people safe after this period. And I really, really hope to see you soon in the campus. If you have any question, email me, and I always check email very regular. So that's why just email me and I will give you, the rating for attendance and the credits after each chapter. For example, this one I just review for chapter 6. But if you review that, we go over with homework assignment number 6 easier than. Okay, and I check on the calendar. We will have due date for homework number 6. That's on April, I guess it is 7. Check the schedule on the Canvas and you can see the day for the due date for that homework. Okay, thank you for go with my review for today, and hope that we will start with assignment number 6 soon. I think tonight is because tonight I can do easier than to post everything for you. So again, Canvas file in the website from the school is very good for you keep everything go smooth for this period. And I also need to see you soon in the parking lot. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.